Hey, hello everybody. Good morning and welcome to, or good afternoon if you're in the UK like I am. Welcome to the Tellman and Fellman show. My name, of course, is Harris Fellman.
And I'm Tellman Knutson. We have special guest Warren Whitlock here on our show today. I think I probably met Warren at like one of the first conferences I ever went to in the marketing world. I've known your name for a super long time, Warren. So it's really great to have you here. Welcome.
I've known you the same length of time.
What's that?
He's known you the same length of time, he said.
It's true. It's true.
Let me read his bio really quick. Warren Whitlock is a digital marketing pioneer and a master of online influence who loves nothing more than helping people make authentic connections in the digital age. This is ChatGPT told me this, Warren. With a career spanning decades, Warren has a knack for turning complex marketing strategies into simple, fun, and effective solutions. He's not just about algorithms and metrics, though. Warren's all about the people behind the clicks, teaching brands how to genuinely engage their audiences. Sounds like we could learn something from him. When he's not when he's not geeking out over the latest tech. And that is something that I know Warren very well likes to do, is geek out over tech. And I consider him philosopher adjacent when it comes to technology and futurist thinking. So how do you like them introductions, Warren?
It's it's early here, so I can appreciate that you haven't had a chance to read that before. Next time we talk, it'll be the AI talking.
Well, how do we know it's not the AI right now? How do we know that you did not send an AI version of yourself?
Oh, it's really simple. I have an AI clone public. And the one thing I know from watching and listening to it, it doesn't say
Well, but some of them do now. The ones that are doing sales calls, the ones that are doing sales calls, they're putting ums and the only tell is a very poor laugh. So far, like not the only tell, but no, see that was weird. Ha.
I want to say something. So,
your name's on the show.
This is episode 37, and we often have 5 people watching live, 10 people watching live, sometimes 15, maybe even 20 people watching live. But according to our stats right now, we have 186 people watching us live right now. 190. Maybe.
They want you to. They know you're in Florida. They're hoping to watch your destruction out the window or something.
I mean, no, we have 196. So I don't know if Warren, like your popularity on X is just like blowing us sky high, or like whether it's because I did a couple hurricane update videos or what. But so many people are we have over 215 people watching. So listen, guys. First of all, if you ask a question in the comments about marketing, we're going to give you something awesome. So. Ask a question in the comments. We're going to give you something awesome. Follow it up with a private message or a DM to Harris or myself or Warren. I guess if you're watching his platform. I have no idea why our viewership is so high right now.
I think it's likely Warren. I mean, he was. Weren't you listed as like a top 5 influencer a few years ago? I remember that.
I've made up stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even use ChatGPT to write it. It's it could be. We might have a great audience. Hi India. Hi Africa.
That's right.
I'm actually doing stuff in Africa. I know people in Africa now.
You could be in Africa. You have an AI background right there, so you could be in Africa right now.
Yes, it's actually it's a solid fake background. It's not generated by AI. I don't know. It might have been AI generated.
It's a pre-AI generated. Yeah.
That's right. Yes, that's true. Right. I've had it long enough that I believe it's real.
We've got our first heckler, guys. Joel, come. Joel, you are next on our Tellman and Fellman show hit list.
Tellman, he's off of Facebook. I don't know how he's watching it. Oh, it's because we're on X. That's why.
Joel's off Facebook now. Man, we're at 320 people. This is great.
Warren, we better get going then. We better make this interesting. Warren, how did you get started how'd you get started?
That's right.
What brought you to our world?
I had two lovely parents. So
not that far back. Not that far back.
I have a great story that way. I have good genes. So actually, yes, it does affect me today. I am just getting started. I saw you have a place to put a title, so I made sure I put that up there. And thanks for putting in Evil Harris. We'll get
Warren dubbed me Evil Harris for my marketing years ago.
I was wondering what the deal was with Evil Harris. Yeah.
I never thought he was evil. Loved him from the moment I met him. We were both speaking at an event with Matt Basic in Atlanta, and we just had a roaring good time. And I was promoting books at the time, and he said he didn't have time to read. So
I don't read. No, I didn't say I don't have time to read. I said I don't read. Exactly.
I actually had a website for a short period of time, evilharris.com.
He deserves that.
Don't go there now. It's probably,
That's right.
Selling witchcraft or something now. But
at one point, Harris, didn't you create DressUpTellman.com? Wasn't that you?
I created. Let's not get too political. I know Joel Combs on; he might get fired up. But the guy that when Trump got elected, I did Dress Up Trump Dress Up.
Oh, was that the first? No,
I did that before Dress Up Tellman. Oh no! I did Dress Up. I did Dress Up Obama online, and I did Dress Up whoever he was running against online, and then I did Dress Up Tellman by your request.
That was on. If you guys want to go check it out, you can go to the Wayback Machine and look at DressUpTellman.com, and you can dress me up all sorts of funny ways. It still actually works. You can use
wow.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And then I did Dress Up Trump, but I actually sold 3,000 magnet versions of it. I have it here in the. I have it here in the UK. So which it didn't. I only sold like 3,000 over the course of a year because people that hated him didn't really want to put him on the wall, so it was making fun of him a little bit. And people that liked him didn't want to put him on the not the wall, but the refrigerator because they liked him, so they didn't want to put him on like me making fun of him in his underwear. So it was actually because he was so divisive that it wasn't. You had to be kind of moderate like me, to be willing to appreciate the humor of it, I guess. But anyway, so Warren, how did you really get started in marketing? I remember I remember seeing you at a big seminar, I think, with Timmy Sentner, who died this year. Him and I were the first people to fail our way trying to use QR codes when nobody cared about them. We snuck them on everybody's folder and nobody clicked on it at all. They didn't know what to do with it, nor did they care what this spam was. I don't know if you remember, probably not me trying that, but I remember seeing you there, but I'd known you already.
I came up with a long history of helping some of the ideas that Fellman came up with totally failed. And dumb things that Fellman has done. Thank you. Great. No, before that, I've been marketing since I can remember. Influence is all about getting somebody else to do something. So really the jokes about parents and baby and all that are somewhat true. And by the time I was in, I think middle school, we used to call it junior high. I never went to middle school. But, back in those days, I was learning TV production and writing ads. Back pre-internet, a flyer was the ad medium I used most. And I was in radio.
Flyer, like a piece of paper, like you handed out, like you put it on a car. You flyered cars, or you flyered in front of.
I bumper stickered cars. I went to a parking lot and covered it in bumper stickers. For a radio station I was affiliated with I was paid in 45 records.
Instead of money.
45 single vinyl. Yeah, vinyl when it wasn't cool. when it was the only choice. And yeah, and in fact, they were feet, 2 feet from the bottom, and happy feet, they were called, was the fad right then. They were fluorescent green, and they said KFXM is everywhere, and I put them everywhere. And that was a short campaign. They gave me the stickers. They told me to do it. I did it, and they didn't want to pay me because they got in so much trouble. But
yeah, I would suspect they would have gotten in
life
trouble
is
for that.
life is littered with the failures to teach us principles. And
That's true.
I decided to study advertising when I got to university because I'd had radio production experience, but they said, we can't teach you anything more. And I said, well, let me switch. I'll stay in communications and study advertising. And I thought I'd get into the design of advertising, the fun stuff, like making dress up Tellman websites and Evil Harris. But no, that's not what I do. I did stuff like I would create packages to mail to friends when they went off to college or moved away or something. And I, get a Big Mac container and open it up right inside the whole letter, use all the panels, and then seal it up and put a stamp on it. It's always about trying to create something to get attention. I thought, resumes, make sure you do your resumes so you get attention. And what I learned was advertising was about selling a lot of stuff. And so we got into that a bit. And I wanted to be the radio disc jockey playing the records. And in my class, I was the high voice. So the low voice disc jockeys, all men back in the day. That was and so
your voice deepened. Your voice deepened over time, I guess.
I think so. Yeah, I've always been bass, but it's a little bit deeper. And since I totally have nothing to do with radio, and that career ended, I ended up in sales. And in fact, in college, I didn't want anything to do with sales or marketing. And in the classes, I wanted to do this stuff. And I didn't realize that, I was wanting to build an audience even back then. And so, took 4 jobs in media sales, was fired from all of them. And nothing else left to do but start working for myself. I don't like to say I'm self-employed because I really don't like me as an employee, and there's no way in hell I'd work for me. So
So you're a horrible boss and a horrible employee.
And still, I own businesses, and I found out somewhere along the line, probably about the time I got to know you guys, it's a lot more fun not to have employees. And I'm not against employees. I just decided why not make things simpler and do it all myself. So that's a lot of times I've ended up doing way too much myself, but way too technical. But seriously, I was using computers in 1978. Got my own computer in 81. Got on the internet in 1984. So
we're in 1984 already.
We'll get there. And it's the same today.
I gotta hop off camera for a second. I'll be right back. Harris, keep the conversation going.
Okay, I will. Hey, so
Harris, you ought to be able to get me to talk.
I should. So yeah. Jump it up. So when did you get into internet marketing? Jump it up like 15 years. Get into, was it like 10 years later?
I had a company and I wanted to advertise it, and I loved playing with the new tech. So I got on the internet in.
What was your company? What kind of company was it?
We were repairing laser printers and building toner cartridges.
Okay. And was it, did you guys do that? So I used to sell leads to a company that sold toner cartridges, but I think it was a little bit of a scam. Are you familiar with those? Like, how was that a scam? Oh, it was like toner cartridge refill or something, right?
Well, refill's not a scam. We were remanufacturing. In fact, it started an association in California, and we had 150 members of companies that were building toner cartridges. Then
But there was, I was sorry, I wasn't saying
yeah,
that what you were doing was a scam. I was wondering if I thought there was like a scammy side of it, or was it just
there
like
is.
these?
There is.
Okay,
Well, it was just like selling light bulbs. So, I mean, let me think of the things you might have done.
I can tell you
So,
the light bulbs. How did you know about the light bulbs?
oh
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
I
worked
know
for a
about
light
all of
bulb.
them.
I worked for a light bulb company a company that sold light bulbs for like, I don't know, it was like $150 a box. They're like, oh, let us just send you a box of light bulbs, and they would get the guy to pay, 100. But it's a lifetime guarantee on the light bulbs. I didn't do good
Yeah,
selling, but they moved me into collections, and I did okay
I
negotiating
worked.
with people.
Yeah, I worked a phone room in college for a while. They were selling they were selling a Hollywood style show, and we were in San Bernardino. So San Bernardino is known as a place that uses LA for entertainment because it's close to LA, and so there's nothing. And
So you
so
said it
it's a
was a
Hollywood
Hollywood style
style
show.
show. Well,
Yeah.
the whole family could come for $7, and did okay at that. But I didn't. Thinking about it, I didn't sleep well at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a struggle, and
Yeah.
so it's only a few months, and
So you got
so
into internet marketing for your business with laser printers and toner cartridges, and
yeah,
then
yeah, that's what I tell everybody. But I got into the internet because it was fun, and I wanted to sell the stuff. And basically, I didn't do much with the toner cartridges. It was I had used printers that people had traded in or given me or whatever, and we repaired them and we would sell them to people that came into the shop. And so I just decided that I'd try this thing with ads on our website.
okay,
Our website had been sitting there for some time, and I like building websites, but nobody wanted to pay me for it, and nobody knew what it was. So I never did come up with marketing for that one, and I wound up, writing ads and selling them. And then this after a couple of years, this little company Google came along, and I said, I love that search engine. Isn't that the greatest thing? And as soon as then, a couple of years more, they offered pay-per-click ads, and that was great. Doubled my business, was doing fine. The only thing I did wrong was not put another, and put a zero at the end of the number for my budget. I should have
yeah,
been spending a lot more money,
Right.
doing a lot more. So yeah, pay-per-click was fantastic. I got into affiliate marketing, but it sold some stuff. We'd get the checks and it'd be several $100s, and the accounting people didn't know what to do with the check. I said, well, deposit. Well, what account do we put it in? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. It's only $250. And so that was just for putting a banner on a website. So I played with that stuff. I did, Then I figured out what it took to get people to, we dominated search. Back in the day, you could create a page, submit it, and it would instantly be in the search results. So we knew it was working, and that's what I did. And I thought I was doing
and did you do
poorly.
that for a specific?
15-20% of my gross was advertising, and I spent as much on advertising as I did on the used machines. So we did okay, and yeah, like I say, we just did that. I got bored with it. I moved to Vegas and started promoting books, and
Oh.
figured out I didn't need a staff. I didn't
Well,
need
so
people.
okay, well, so hold on. That's a huge jump, right?
Yeah.
Like selling printers and cartridges and doing advertising, like is all fine, but like, how did you make the leap from selling ink to selling and printers
So
or
I
whatever
sold,
to selling
yeah.
books?
Yeah, well, to me, it's the same. Everything needs to be sold. Everything needs somebody to be persuaded to do that. Then I really got studied and found out that everybody really wants some emotional thing deep inside. They do not want, people do not wake up in the morning and say, I dream of owning a toner cartridge. No, they need to have one.
Right.
And with books, people dream of the benefits of having written the book. They don't write the book to pour out their heart, because if they do, they make terrible books. So, and I'm talking about nonfiction books that help your business. Right, right. And so
I do read. I do read now. By the way, Warren, I read nonfiction books. I've never really read fiction.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
I read exclusively nonfiction. I've tried to watch. I like watching movies. There's plenty of fiction there. Plenty of
I'm the
stories
same.
there.
I do find that I like some nonfiction or some fiction that has like inspiration in it, like The Alchemist, or The Greatest Salesman in the World. Like those two are like, you know, they're fantastical stories, but they actually have like, you know, some sort of life direction to them, like how to get your goals.
It's still a business. And I found that while I promoted a lot of self-help books, and I think all of this genre is self-help in a way. I mean, you're reading the book to be a better manager, to get more sales, to you know, whatever the philosophy is. But what you're really doing is trying to fulfill, you know, a way to get yourself motivated. Read Think and Grow Rich, a book I promoted with Ted Ciuba. The new Think and Grow Rich would be my preferred version to read. But you can download it. It's free. Think and Grow Rich. And it's by Napoleon Hill, and it tells you to have use a 4-step process to get any amount of money that you want. That's it. Done. That's what we need.
What are they? What's the 4 steps? You're here. Let's tell everyone. Let's save them the read.
And save you the read. Yeah. You got to read the book because you need the inspiration. You need to keep on it. You need to think about it.
And it needs to get in your brain.
When I'm watching a movie, it doesn't matter that it's a bad movie or TV show. If it's on the right topic, my brain is going on that topic and filling in with other things. One professor said this. In fact, he couldn't get it right as an analogy, and I still can't to this day, 50 years later. But it's something of the idea of getting pulling an idea out of a hat. The larger the hat, the better chance that there'll be a good idea in it. Actually, that's the best I've ever said that. He tried to use 10-gallon hats, and I never knew what he meant. Something about cowboy hats, but so the analogy doesn't work. But the truth is there. You've got to have more ideas, more data.
So Warren,
like Short Circuit said.
So Warren, data. I've never been able to figure out, like, what do you do?
Yeah, these days, what are you actually doing, Warren? Like, what's your focus?
Sticking with the theme of I'm always looking to do something new and do it at least 6 months before Joel Comm does. Right now, I'm heavily into AI.
That's impossible with Joel, though.
Yeah, well, we don't need to show proof, but you know, you could check the publication date on his best-selling Twitter book and the publication date on mine.
And what about Bitcoin? He's like a Bitcoin or a crypto god right now. Were you there 6 months before him?
Yeah, I was. I read the Satoshi white paper in 2009. Didn't want to.
Listen, I'm just trying to get the guy on our show, so I'm trying to pump him up a little bit. Joel's great. What are you talking about? It's impossible.
Actually, Joel has one thing that would keep him off his show. Me talking about being around before him.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've already driven Joel away.
What about games? Did you make a bunch of games? Did you make a bunch of games and sell them to Yahoo?
I never made a bunch of games.
You didn't even make a fart app. You didn't make.
Yeah, did you make a fart app?
I'm going to. Oh boy, yeah. While I'm sitting here,
every day, guys, every day. I don't need an app.
I'm a natural genius.
Who needs an app? Right.
No, I got to tell you this about Joel. He does one thing I don't do well. He makes a hell of a lot of money, and you know, and in fact, in a conversation, he's told me making money's easy. Like, well, then, you know, what else is there that you got to do? Is have fun. And then, you know, I probably put him the other direction. I have a lot of fun. I have a great life. And I've made, you know, more than enough money to stay alive, because I know that because there's a little bit of money in my wallet, and I'm here today.
Yeah.
So,
so sorry, we got off tangent when we mentioned the magical Joel Comm. What do you?
Well, what else could we talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah. My tagline today is emerging technology. I'm about anything that's going to be, because if you're not involved in something where the growth rate is exponential, you're going to fall behind really quick. So all of this stuff about, I can set up the right automated system and money's going to pour in. That's nice, but somebody else is going to be able to set up 1,000 of them. Eric Schmidt was talking, the guy that was running Google. He was talking about what he thought the future was. He got some press because he said something about big companies missing things and a couple other things that pissed off some people, but he was just talking. What his main thing to tell people was that we are going to really soon be able to say, I like Airbnb, go make me one. I like Twitter, go make me 10 of them. And it'll go out, get the code, figure out how to do it, and you'll have something in a half an hour. And in a half an hour, you'll have a company competing with anybody and anything. And the creativity will be coming up with something that's enough different than what we have right now that people will want to see it. It won't be the Twitter for the politically correct. It won't be that way. We won't be top down, tell people what to do. We'll make up something completely new. And we're all going to be able to do that really soon.
We're kind of on the verge of it, aren't we? Aren't we there now? Yeah. If you know how to do it, like I was speaking to somebody that owns one of these like high level agencies, and he said he said ChatGPT, make me a business based on my, to leverage my business and resources to make me a $10 million business by the end of next year. And it, the idea that it kicked back was to do what we were kind of kidding about earlier, but outbound. An AI that does outbound sales, essentially outbound outreach, and provide that for your customers for $83 a month, similar to what somebody that we interviewed recently, Smart AI, Jeff Mills. He has a company that does that, but these guys had their AI kind of create the idea and create it.
Using AI in the race to the bottom.
What does that mean?
Well, that's what happens. It's where the term marketers ruin it comes from. It's like, how can I use this to get people to buy my stuff? Whereas what we really ought to be looking at is, where can I develop a relationship so people are throwing money at me? Sales is outbound. Marketing is inbound. It's getting people to come look for you. What we're doing here with this show is creating content that apparently someplace in Puerto Rico, a guy on the beach thinks it's okay to sit there and watch us rather than whatever else he could be doing with the time.
That's right.
Yeah. And so that's what we want. We want people to do that.
Somebody just put a heart. Let me see who. Maybe he's in. Michael Broderick. Maybe Michael Broderick is in where'd you say Puerto Rico? I was going to say Costa Rica.
Or maybe Michael Broderick likes something else that we're saying, the philosophy of actually giving people what they want.
You could tell us. You could type it in, Michael. What do you want to say?
No, I mean, I agree with you, Warren. I really think that more and more, I mean, I've been saying this for years, but it's kind of like you can't, unless you live in a major city, you can't really order a fresh baguette on the internet. You can't really get one, right? Like, I guess these days you kind of can. I came up with this before, whatever, Uber Eats, but like there are.
I mean, most people live in a city, though. Yeah, I mean,
maybe the metaphor is breaking down. Let me try again. The point is, with AI content like everywhere now, whether it's visual, whether it's written, whether it's chatbot, whether it's a video, whether it's a manufactured podcast with, Google Notepad or whatever, It's that sounds good, that's interesting, that's engaging. In many cases, even that's completely indiscernible from human. Like, I don't think using AI to do things that humans do is really a good use of time, because it decreases relationship between humans. And I think what's going to happen is relationship capital is going to dramatically increase in value while everybody is focused on how they can get the robots to do all the work for them and be a slacker, and then don't have relationships with anyone. And so your point about putting yourself in a situation where people want to throw money at you, I think that's less about whatever super smart thing that you're doing and more about how much they trust you and you offering solutions that help them, right? As a result of nurturing that relationship.
Absolutely. I mean, my greatest desire, if I'm being selfish, why am I here? Is that by doing this, somebody's going to think, I said, that Warren got it right, Colin. I had a friend who once told me, actually, I'd love to have this happen. If you're out there and you fit this description, give me a call. I'll work cheaper than the story. Now, the guy said the Fortune 500 CEO was watching some podcast or listening to something or whatever, reading a blog post, social media, and said, this guy, I like what he's doing, hire him. And he didn't know what the guy offered. And, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars for an engagement. And the guy came, did the thing, and everybody was happy. The company made money, because you can help somebody in some of those positions make a little tweak to what they're doing. It can be 8, 9, 10 figures of difference in how much that company makes. And so you do just a little bit. Some of these ideas, and I was saying this when I was hanging around with a lot of internet marketing conferences, was that I was learning, but I quickly found that I was there to meet people.
Right.
And the thing is that we were people that someday would be showing everybody how to do things. What we were doing in the late 90s, early aughts, I just felt like, gosh, people would be paying for it. Then I found out there were people selling it as digital marketing. And I go like, that's pretty cool. That's about the time I decided I didn't want to grow a big staff. So I decided not to get into any of that stuff and just be the social media consultant that could help people. And I did like social media. I didn't ever really call myself a social media consultant. But I was, early on there before JoeCon. And then got into content. And I realized I've been doing content all along. I worked in radio for 10 years, for crying out loud.
Right.
I produced content. My first piece was 1969. And so, but the joke was, here's the next fad, is everybody's going to call themselves a content marketing expert, or everybody's going to call themselves an influencer. This one I totally don't get. First of all, we all try to influence each other. And then right now, if you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, they want to be an influencer. There's no studying yes, they have college courses on it now. You can learn to be an influencer, but that's crazy. There's certain things you could do to be a good influencer, be a good person, do good things.
Well, we're
inspire people.
Enough. I think what that actually translates into is becoming a great leader, right?
Yeah.
But becoming a great leader is an enormous amount of work, like personally, emotionally, like psychologically, relationally. Like becoming a great leader in your own right or in your own area is basically like committing your life to sacrifice for the people that you're leading. Like it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
People want the benefits of being an influencer, but what they don't want is to have to do the work, right? I think that's where people are getting, that's why it won't work.
Well, and they think it means making cute 6-second videos. So
right. That might be part of it, but that's not it.
No, and I'm sorry to let you down. Whatever 117 people tuned in. I'm not going to dance today.
Oh, we usually do. We usually do it.
Get up.
A dance. I usually I've been trying to get into the habit of doing a magic trick, but we just keep getting into the show instead. So you're not going to get a magic trick either, audience.
Well, I guess that's the point. If we use the technology, instead of seeing what we could force on people, like an auto dialer, we start thinking, what could we do that's better that we haven't thought of yet? Right. And that's where we're going to be. Exactly. Then there's an idea I got mostly from following Peter Diamandis. He did the X Prize and the Singularity. Yeah. And I'm now working with Singularity Labs on some of the protocols and companies they've got coming out. And I've got to know, that actually Peter Diamandis is a whole different world from that. But some of those same people, very smart people in AI, Ben Goertzel, the guy that helped bring us Sophia. Boy, I'm having trouble with that word. Sophia, the robot that it didn't have a back of the head, would go on Jimmy Fallon and sing and do stuff like that. That robot technology, the AI part of it, is what we're pushing with a lot of other things right now. Twin protocol, where we have a digital twin. We actually have ingested the works of Deepak Chopra, and you can go to wherever you get your Deepak Chopra and hopefully see some kind of link or ad to this where you can actually pay. You can ask Deepak Chopra a question for free, but if you want to ask him, unlimited questions or more limited or higher limit or whatever, the mechanics of it, how that works, you get a chance to have Deepak Chopra there to coach you on anything you need. Well,
that's cool. I actually do that a bit.
Yeah.
I do something like that every day with I journal into ChatGPT, and then I ask ChatGPT to give me a response based on a mentor. And I have had it do Deepak Chopra.
Harris will drop a link, or you can go get Deepak Chopra. They're essentially the same.
No link from me. No, just go to ChatGPT. But no, I'm saying I'm sure it's more Deepak-y than what I'm going to get from a generic ChatGPT. But I've had that concept myself, and that's pretty cool.
Most people following Deepak Chopra. This is a weird thing about some of the more inspirational self-help stuff. It doesn't sell like goal setting, get ahead, beat the competition kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Self-help, everybody. Really wise guy, Rob Thompson. There's somebody you ought to.
But isn't there a pretty strong isn't there a pretty good uptick now with more kind of spiritual stuff, since a lot of people are like agnostic or atheist, so they're looking for spiritualism? But here's the thing.
So the guy that had a self-help website sold it and got into numerology, and he's built a list and sold some numerology stuff, but mostly he can't sell them on the idea of get your own numerology practice, learn to get your own reading. Those people don't want that. What they want is the daily horoscope coming to them.
Well, but one of those two modalities are no more scientifically true than the other.
Right. Yeah, it's not about that at all.
It's just that more people believe astrology than numerology.
I met him with a group brainstorming angel NFTs, and the marketing research we did on angels was just astounding. Wow, what people could do. We had a guy that had a list of people with angels and such stuff. I think he had 400,000 and was making good money at it. But you don't make the money by telling them you can get your own. You can do this yourself. And think about internet marketing.
So you're saying that you want me to edit out the idea of using ChatGPT and just saying, "Hey, have Deepak Chopra."
No.
We're still talking about Deepak Chopra over here.
This is the thing. I want everybody to hurricane in and out Tellman today. Your sound.
Look. I was up most of the night while the hurricane was hitting in Florida. We survived it. We didn't lose power, but I didn't get a lot of sleep. And so I drank a bunch of coffee this morning, and it's really nice having a co-host when your bladder gets full in the middle of a talk show.
Yay, there's a reason for a co-host, everybody.
There's a reason to talk about something instead of ChatGPT and Deepak Chopra. No, the Deepak Chopra bot is helping people as if it was, and it's trained only on what Deepak Chopra would say to somebody. And we're going to see a lot more of those. But here's the big thing I've learned this year. We're going to have agents and bots doing all sorts of things for us. I thought when we got into the digital twin that it would be, because I was there at the founding of that one.
So what's digital twin? What's digital twin? Is that like when you meet your soulmate and it happens to be an AI? What is it?
Oh. No. It's when you meet your soulmate and it's you.
Oh.
Okay. Think Multiplicity, where Michael Keaton makes a clone of himself, and by the end of the movie, he's got like 4 or 5 clones, and
Oh yeah, but the fifth one is kind of the fifth one's a little slow, like right.
So forget that crazy plot, and just go like the basic reason I wouldn't want to clone. I don't want to either hide him or publicly acknowledge he's dead. Doesn't matter. I don't want to have another me running around that has absolutely the same problems I have. I want to get somebody that's better if it's a human and they're doing something. I don't want to feed me twice, house me twice. What he's going to want to sleep in my bed? No. I don't want any of that stuff. So lose the body, and a digital twin becomes something that has all that. And I went to this luncheon with Ben Gertzel and my friend Bill Inman, and I was just out to have a good hamburger, and he started talking about what he was doing, and I found out that the Sophia robot was AI and a robot. Yeah, robots need AI, but AI doesn't need a robot. And I said, that's pretty cool. I like the AI part more. This is several years ago. And I said, what I'd like to have is something, and I held up my phone and said, I'd like to have something that just, I can do all the boring stuff, and I can do the fun stuff. And he said, yeah, that's pretty good. And I used something from the book business. See how it all goes together. The book business, I used to tell wannabe authors to gather together their digital banker's box. When you leave a job, you take your banker's box full of all your memories and you take it out the door. Well, a digital banker's box is you can put everything you ever created on a hard drive and put it in a box. Just, whatever. You can collect all your stuff together. I said, do that. Because, some of them would say, I've written papers, I've written this book, got the manuscript and doing this, and I'm looking, and they had no business with the book. And we created for that. So I said that to Ben Gertzel, and he says, well, can you take a digital banker's box of your work and stick it into an AI? And it goes, yeah. And back in 2021, he was the guy that could do it. I've never heard of it, I knew there were things like ChatGPT coming, and you pay, your whatever, $100 a month, and it'll help you write copy.
Well, Tellman quickly mentioned something in passing a second ago. He said Google Notebook, but he meant Notes LM.
That is what I meant.
Notes LM, which we think of as put a PDF in, and it'll make a podcast out of it, right. Like two people discussing it. But it's actually what Notes LM is a bit of what you're talking about, where you can upload all the documents that you want into it, and now you can,
right. So add one more thing for digital twin is the ability to make it yours, make it private as it needs to be, and everything's in there.
Well, how do you get everything in there? Because I don't have everything anywhere.
Well, your AI is going to help you do this. This is not a product you can buy today. This is my vision for where it's going to be. I go into a doctor's office and I have to fill out paperwork. Sometimes
every time.
I've been to before. Yeah, there's always paperwork. What do they do with all that paperwork? Paperwork is something like 50% of healthcare. If we got rid of that, we'd have better healthcare. Just no doubt about it. And I want to be able to walk into a doctor's office, and sometimes they need to know about my credit. And they all want to know what prescriptions I'm taking, because I'm an old man. I have a bunch of prescriptions.
Didn't you tell me you're just midlife now because you're living to 150?
I'm not quite midlife, but that'd be a whole nother episode. So I'm trying not to bring that up.
Okay.
But they need to know this stuff about me. I've also spent a lot of times in waiting rooms driving my wife to appointment, and I just keep thinking how inefficient this place is. And I'm talking about 2024. I'm not talking about. I feel like I'm going to a portal to the 90s when I go to a doctor's office.
Right.
They're all using.
I'm in the UK.
Computers. Yeah.
I'm in the UK, and they're like, the government is saying, we promise that waits will be less than 12 weeks. It's like, how's that possible? Like,
my doctor told me I was healthy, and I said, yeah, but I want to be healthier. I want to get a little bit fit because I got to make this body last another 80 years. And she said, well, if you're going to exercise, maybe you better go see a cardiologist. Are you getting a kickback from cardiologists? No, I've never seen a cardiologist. That was February. After 5 visits to the place for testing, and I did all the stuff you do for cardiology. And, just amazed at how long all this took, and the weeks between appointments. End of July, I go and see the doctor. I get 5 minutes with him. And he said, Warren, you have a good heart. I told my wife, she said, why'd you do all that? We knew you had a good heart. So,
yeah.
It's fishing for compliments. That's what I get out of life at this point. They're not going to pay me money. You just tell me I have a good heart. But I want to be able to walk in and have them know who I am, but I don't want them to keep my credit file in their filing cabinet. That's crazy.
Right.
There's so much. My social security number and all that stuff is in a file, paper file somewhere.
Right.
And much more trusted to be on an encrypted disk. Same with when I want credit. I go to the bank. They want to know I'm healthy. I want to get insurance or something, right? They can send you to a doctor, and they're going to have a file with your complete medical history. And even digitally, they're collecting whole copies of it. The future is us keeping our own information and being able to say, here's what you need to know. I give you these rights with a smart contract that says, if you need to know whether or not I'm going to pay my bill, push, I'm going to sign off that, and you get a notice. Yes, he's got a credit score of, 420. That's a good one, isn't it?
No, that's bad.
That's bad. Yeah. Okay.
420 is a different thing, Warren.
Oh, okay. So more like 500. Yeah, those are big credit scores for a solopreneur.
That's right.
No, they need to know what that I have an 812. Just go to the other end. And then it's done. They don't need to know anything else.
They don't need to know what the number is. They just need to know yes or no. This passes what they want.
Whatever that the system decided that everybody with a credit score of 420, is handed a joint and said you can't afford this.
Right.
You're wasting all your money on weed.
Right. There you go. So Warren, so is the digital twin that's being worked on?
Sure. Yeah. We launched the protocol with tokens publicly on the 22nd of this month. It's called Twin Protocol .ai, I believe. It's not .ai, it's .ao. They make up these things so fast anymore.
.io or .ao or something.
Type digital protocol company or tokens into a search engine, you'll find it. Or send me a message. Let's further this conversation if you're interested, because there's investment opportunities and things like that. I'm not here showing them it in the least bit. I am.
How do you get yourself into these circles? I mean, Peter Diamandis and Singularity. It seems to be a pretty high level circle to be in.
If you want to talk about the pyramid, or funnel, I invert it and call it a pyramid. Marketing funnel. They always say, like in self-help, which all of this is, you want more information, you want closer, you want to be with the guy. The model to follow has got to be Tony. is if you want to. Why am I forgetting his last name? You know, the Tony in
Robbins.
Fiji. Robbins. Thank you, Tony Robbins. You want to be Tony Robbins. You want to, and you want even Warren to remember your name, Tony Robbins. You can't get into a face-to-face with him with less than 500 people in the room unless you're spending a lot of money. And then you go to Fiji, and then that's even more money, and that's fewer people, and it gets down to one-on-one, and it will be a lot. Deepak Chopra's like that, and he's gonna broadcast to 1 billion people on TV, or he's gonna get down to small groups and in his consulting, and then at the top, you can probably get an appointment to see the guy if you pay enough money or part of the right program or whatever it is. And now we're going to be able to wipe that out with AI, allowing anybody to talk to what is essentially him. And so the twin stuff's going to be pretty cool. But what I want is for Deepak to have my file and then be able to give me an opinion of what I ought to do with my life. Trying to think why I would ask Deepak Chopra anything, but the person who likes Deepak Chopra has whatever they want. They have their background, their history, everything like that, their medical file. Guy's a doctor. Give him your medical file. All of that. You want to open up whatever needs to be open for that encounter. You go to see an attorney, he wants to know everything. You go to see anybody. The digital banker's box concept is everywhere. But like you say, Harris, you don't have everything all in one place. In the future, you will. And when I made this up, it was a thumb drive.
I won't.
You won't?
Well, no, a younger version of us will, but like it's already like there's already too much of my life that's not recorded digitally or not recorded at all or lost in a flood or unless we think that all the memories are in here somewhere.
Well, I believe they are.
Hypnosis, Harris, honestly, all the memories are in there.
Are they in there clearly though? Then why can't we why when we think we regurgitate a memory, it's wrong?
Because we're running through our own conscious filter, and like most of memory is imagination.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
if you can suck it out, if you can suck it out like the Matrix, and then give your digital twin to Deepak's digital twin, and they just go, here's your answer, and then
exactly.
But then we're still gonna fuck it up because we're humans. Thanks, Deepak, for the plan, but
we'll have plenty of time to work on it because we're not going to be doing the boring work.
Well, you guys just said that you don't know. Tellman just said he doesn't think we should be making the robots do the work, the human work.
Well, I'm not saying that's not what I said.
I know. I tried to be controversial.
I'm not saying don't have robots do like the boring stuff. I'm saying like don't use AI to be a slacker. Use AI to create a greater vision. Like, and the challenge is us as humans and our ability to think beyond our own capability. We need to that's the kit. That's always the key with anything. Right. Is like you need to think about what you're going to do that's beyond your brain, beyond your individual physical shell's ability to do something. If you want to do something great, in most cases, you need to be able to think outside of your own little flesh bag. And what AI gives us the opportunity to do is to do that at a very it's available to everyone, but it's the same old thing. It's like we all have more communication ability in our pockets right now than Ronald Reagan had when he was in presidency, and none of us are using it for anything remotely useful. So it's just like we're wasting it because nobody has vision. So that's such a key piece to the puzzle that people are leaving out is you can't be successful if there's a little tiny vision that's limited to what your past is. You need to be able to think about how to where things are going to go in the future. It's just we
do know we're going to have personal robots. They're looking now at the cost of production when these things go mass market. There's going to be a humanoid robot is going to be available for $100 a month in your home. And, with the service, with the whole thing. And
as long as they don't become sentient, as long as they don't.
Yeah, well, we don't get to choose that, Harris.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Actually.
No, I'd like to do.
We won't know. It'll happen behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Sorry.
There's a lot of people talking about this, and that's good. But I just say let them. I'm here to figure out what's going to be better and what I can make better, and let somebody else worry about the problems.
I didn't say I just don't want mine to be sentient because I'm having it do slave work. I mean,
Yeah,
you don't want to get pissed for what it does, what you make it do, and what it sees.
I know. Yeah, I'm evil.
You can see some really, really sick stuff around Fellman, but I think Tellman, what he's doing today is perfect. I assume, Tellman, you could have afforded to get 10 guys to go and help the family in Florida instead of going yourself.
Oh, yeah, there are. But
you could have wrote a check, but instead of writing a check, you went yourself.
I did go myself. Yeah.
Well, would your relatives like it if you said, "I'll send some guys over"? Sometimes, yes, relatives.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. You know what I mean? Like you provide resources in different ways, and financial are one.
There's a better one. Mom in a hospital bed. Mom in a hospital bed. You're going to send your robot to do that? No,
probably not. But then again, if you're,
I'm going to try to send my brother. So I don't have to. Because then it's family. But
your brother with a phone, so he can video, just like the robot could.
No, just handle it.
Okay.
I'm too busy. I'm too busy making money. You go. No, that's not true at all. I'm joking.
I mean, I've had some years where it felt that way. I mean, my mom, she's in the hurricane, and if she needs me, I'll come. But when she broke her knee, I came. But I don't see her enough, and that's because I'm too busy with my family and too busy trying to get my goals, and I don't feel great about that sometimes.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to do more of that in the future because you're going to have. But when you are working on your goals, you'll have more agents, both software and hardware, working for you. It's just it's obvious that guys like us are going to have that pretty soon. By 2040, they're talking about having 10 billion robots. And,
10
robots
billion?
working in a factory making more robots. I don't like that one. I can't think of anything good coming of that. But the idea that a family in Kenya can have a robot to help repair the house rather than
awesome, right?
What's his name? Our friend from Texas that sold a lot of greeting card MLM. What's that guy's name? Yeah. Anyway, good friend. I can't think of his name. So it's not that I'm old and forgetting. It's that I have so many people's names in there, and I never was good at remembering the names.
You're going to need a robot to help you out.
Well, yeah, you need to be able to wear glasses or contact lenses, and so I got no problem with going. What do you call it? Sheesh. Now I'm losing all the words. We must be getting near the end of
we are. We're a minute away from an hour.
Perfect timing.
So no, but you want to have. You already have all sorts of things. I have hearing loss, and so right now the earbuds are turned up loud, but and they have they're the new ones. They have the ability to work as a hearing aid. And when I found out that they wanted me to get a hearing aid, that's from the wife yelling something that I couldn't hear for 10 years. When I decided that I need to get a hearing aid, it was that, wow, what can I do that's better? Where someday my hearing aid going to be able to say, tune out everything in the background and let me listen to the people talking 50 yards away.
Right.
We know we have the technology for that.
Yeah.
Just figuring out how to get it into something consumer and whatnot. and the crazy laws and regulations things do anything with health.
Yeah,
I've worn
privacy.
contact lenses now for 50 years. And, I had glasses before that. I was perfectly happy with the glasses, got the contacts because it was less hassle. When I got daily contacts, I like put these things in and go a month. And I have been restored to somewhat normal. I'm a cyborg. That's the word I was looking for. I'm a cyborg and will be more of a cyborg. I don't need a new heart, but
you do have a good heart.
So if I find an extra heart lying around, I know who to give it to on this call.
That's right.
Somebody evil who needs another heart.
I have a good heart. I have too good of a heart, I think.
You do. You actually,
evil
you actually
Harris
do.
Yeah.
You are a wonderful person. There was a time when I was feeling like things weren't going for me. I was at an event. My troubles are like the top 1% of first world troubles. It's like, yeah, I just don't feel really good. And Harris said, yeah, I'm headed to the airport too. And he paid for the cab. And that cab ride was entertaining and fun talking to Harris. I may have helped him pass the time. It was a long cab ride. And he paid for it. Harris, the good heart. There it is. So, out of my relationship with Harris, I got a taxi ride out of it. And, if you ever get to Vegas again, you can hop in my Uber.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Jeff Mills actually did drive an Uber for a while. We were talking to him. He was on let's call it a break from internet marketing.
Joel Cobb did it too.
Joel did?
Yeah.
When? Why? Just for fun?
You're going to have him on the show to tell you about why.
I think
he worked at a Barnes and Noble bookstore. Sold his own book in Barnes.
Yeah, I remember talking with him about that.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's cool.
Joel has amazing stories. Yeah. Why'd you get me? You could have got Joel.
Well, we couldn't. We can't reach him. He's not on Facebook, and I'm not on Twitter. So we're gonna have to get on Twitter.
I think I have Joel's phone number. I'll call him.
Okay.
Cool.
There you go. Great.
Awesome. Well,
anything
Warren,
else we need to take care of today?
I think we're
good. We made it to the hour. We kept you awake. You can have some more coffee and get on with your day and go change the world a little bit. It sounds or improve the world, I should say. I don't want to
and do it exponentially.
And do it exponentially improve the world.
Absolutely.
Rock and roll.
How's that for emergent technology? All right. Well, I still don't know what you do. But it sounds amazing. It sounds really cool. And if anybody wants to learn more about Warren Whitlock, you can go find him. You Google the name right there, Warren Whitlock, and you'll find him wherever social media
wherever you
found.
Do that. I wrote the first book about. Did I mention that it came out before Joel's? The first book about Twitter, and he sold a lot more copies. He made more money.
Better book, probably better book. Was it? You think his was better?
No. That's not how books work. You can judge a book by its cover and by who publishes and has distribution. But you paid Joel for a book. Yeah, that makes it better by definition.
I got you.
I'm not recommending you read either of them, but
no, they're old. They're old books now. They don't make sense anymore. It's not even called Twitter.
I still call it Twitter every day. But the thing is, here's. I didn't do anything except for push a button to allow this to broadcast to my Twitter account. And you saw the audience stats. It works. People say, how did you get 500,000 Twitter followers? And I said, one at a time. I talk to people.
That's right.
That's how
you talk to 500,000 people one at a time?
Yeah, I knew you'd say that, Harris. And I can tell you that if they kept stats, I probably would be in the top tier of number of people I've talked to. I have, ongoing conversations with people in India, Nigeria.
Hang on a second. I just so happen to have access to your digital twin. I can check and see how many people you've talked to.
That's right.
So it's in the tens of thousands. I don't know what the number is. And I also can't remember.
You've never not responded to me when I want to talk to you, so that I believe it. Yeah.
That's it. It's everything. If you're sending out a newsletter, make sure it replies and you can answer it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why bother? If we're not going to connect people, why bother? That's all that's going to be left.
That's right.
But think about it when the doctor doesn't have to do his paperwork, because doctors spend half their time doing paperwork. The doctor is going to be able to come into your room and see you and spend a little bit more time. And a study showed that if a doctor touches you when he visits your room, the recovery is 30% faster.
And if a nurse touches you, it's 40% faster.
Yes, that's true. But that's also evil. But no, if the doctor, he's actually doing the laying on of hands. Whether or not that's a stethoscope or he's touching your elbow or feeling
human
for
contact
a
makes a big difference. Yeah.
Mostly it's that he's there for another, what a doctor sees each patient for 10 seconds, so it goes for 20. But if a doctor can spend time, I actually met a doctor who worked in ER. He was selling some kind of technology that he invested in. He was at the Eureka Park part of CES with the new inventions, and we got talking about it. And I told him what my ideas were on healthcare, and he says, "Yeah, I know that stat, but our guy that gets the highest ratings is actually the worst doctor on our staff." I go, "Thanks, you made my point." The guy's a doctor. He's okay. He's not a license. It's not like it's malpractice. He's just in the ratings. He's not quite as bright as the other doctor, but patients love him because of his bedside manner.
That's right.
And I'm going like, well, that's it.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like if you're sick and you're having a hard time and you're not feeling well and you get to experience someone else caring about you, like that's enough. In many cases, that's enough of a reason to recover.
If I came to you and said, "Tellman, can you hypnotize me?" What I really want is to know that somebody is going to listen to my problem.
Yeah, and be present and connected. Yeah. Again, it comes back down to basic human relationship, I think.
Right. And and so as you've experienced here, an AI can fake it really well.
That's right.
But I'm sorry, audience, I can't tell you which of the three of us is the AI. But you go ahead and comment below which one is the AI. You already know which one is evil.
That's right.
What do you mean? Hello? Ha. Ha.
Right.
Well, guys,
Warren, we're going to stop broadcasting. I'm not going to stick around.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Warren. It was great seeing you. Great catching up. Wonderful chat. Thank you, Harris, and to all 1,771 of our viewers.
Wow, is that true?
All here. Well, it seems to be true.
I mean, are you reading a number, or did you just make one up?
No,
That's
I can see the number of the vast majority of them are coming from Warren's X account. So,
Warren, make a prediction.
A prediction? You're going to be on next week or sometime in the future with Joe Kahn.
All right.
Great. Okay, let's see if your prediction comes true.
Let's see. Or sometime in the future. I like that open end. It really gives you a lot of opportunity to be right.
If you guys keep doing it long enough, you'll get Joe Kahn on here.
Right.
Probably right.
Right.
Well, guys, all right. Thanks so much.
Right behind me.
All right. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Exactly. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Oh, goodbye. There.